Hey everybody, Charlotte from Charlotte's Books here, and today I'm going to be continuing my college advice series with what to expect your first week of college. My first video was all about dorms and dorm situations, so if you would like to watch that, the link is below, as well as my previous hauls from last year. So my whole shtick with this series is that I want to be coming from a personal place. I feel like a lot of times you get advice that's very generic and it could apply to like every situation, but the truth is that your college is going to be different than my college, your situation is going to be different from my situation. So I just want to provide you my own experiences and hope that you can lend them to your own. I'm not going to talk about orientation for the reason that orientation is completely different at like every single school. My school, it was just the freshmen came a few days earlier. A lot of my friends' schools, they have to fly out during the summer and choose a specific orientation week. It really depends on not only the size of the school, but what the school chooses to do. So if you do want another video on orientation, I can do one of those, but this is just that first week of classes. More often than not, the week of classes usually starts in the middle. I think mine starts on a Thursday, and I only have one Friday class this semester, so it's really going to be like 1.5 days. I'm going to start with waking up in the morning. Waking up is going to be a lot different. Chances are your parents won't be there to like knock on your door and get you out of bed. Chances are they're definitely not going to be there. That would be really weird. Obviously you're going to have to set an alarm. I did my iPhone all year. It only like didn't go off once, which was very odd because it just didn't go off, and that could have totally been me turning it off when I was asleep. In my experience, I'm always just super paranoid about oversleeping the first day, so I wake up earlier than I have to just because I'm a very nervous person. So I had no trouble waking up. I was so anxious that whole first week, and it's totally fine to be anxious. Everyone else is. Getting up, you're gonna have to figure out how you want to talk to your roommate in the morning if they are awake at the same time as you, because I actually, most mornings I woke up before my roommate. So there's that whole new experience of waking up, turning on some lights because it's the morning, you're allowed to have some lights, and figuring out how to be quiet and respectful. And also, if you are waking up at the same time as your roommate, you have to respect that they might not want to talk to you because they're not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. Some mornings I would be like overly talkative, and others I would just grunt in response to whatever my roommate was saying. You have to figure out how to live with someone and not offend them heavily. Or if you do want to talk to them and they just want you to shut up, you have to respect that too. Also gonna have to worry about showering because you want to be hygienic. You're meeting people for the first time. I vividly remember my first shower at school because I did a pre-orientation program that was outdoors last semester. So even before orientation, I came a few days early and I went to a camping site with people, and one of them is my best friend to this day. I hopped in the shower, but when you got back was when it was normal move-in for everybody else. So I got back and I showered when there were like moms still coming in and out of the bathroom from moving their kids in. So that was a little awkward. To my point, you're gonna have to figure out if you want to shower more in the morning or night. To be honest, I never chose one. I just showered when I felt dirty, or I also joined a sports team, so obviously I showered after practices. It's good to have a time where you're generally gonna shower, especially if other people do have schedules, because if you're in a shared bathroom situation, then there's not an infinite amount of showers. And you have to leave time for that, as well as leaving time in the morning when you wake up to do makeup or whatever you want to do. You have to allot time in the morning for showering, general upkeep of the body / clothes, and eating. Also, this is very obvious advice, but lay your outfit out the night before. If you haven't tried it on, try it on, because that's something you don't consider when you buy the cute new dress. Does the cute new dress like ride up? As well as allowing time, you need to allow time to get classes. I go to a medium / small size school, and it still took me about 15 minutes to get across campus, even when I walked at my brisk pace and didn't make eye contact with anybody. During orientation, your leaders will probably walk you to where your classes are. My rule of thumb is always be a few minutes early instead of on time. So I had a pretty rigid window of space of when I wanted to leave my dorm to get to classes, and I just realized I'm living farther away from my classes. So your first week of classes is often referred to as syllabus week by upperclassmen in a joking manner, because syllabus week is essentially the week where professors go over the syllabus. They don't teach, so there's a few class periods of just them reading the syllabus. And I'm here to debunk that myth, because that may happen at some universities. For the most part, professors want to teach, so they will rip through that syllabus in like 20 minutes and then you get to class in your first period. So be prepared to start learning that week. I mean, I'm sure this is different. This is definitely different depending on the professor, but syllabus week is like, people use that as an excuse to like party, like meet up with all their friends again, but you might be the one in the library, and that's fine because you're not going to be the only one in the library. And as for that, I totally was under the impression that you could use laptops in every single class, but most of my professors didn't want laptops, and if you did have a laptop, you had to get special permission. The only classes you could really get away with that were the big lectures, and even then I go to pretty small schools, so your TA knew who you were and could ask you like, why are you on your laptop? On that note, bring notebooks. I found that notebooks are the easiest thing in general anyway. I also study better when I'm flipping pages back and forth and just reading my own words. So eat your lunch with anybody, just anybody. Chances are the friends you meet that first week won't be your best friends forever. I'm thinking back in retrospect, and the people I hung out with the first week, I still say hi, we mutually like Instagrams, etc., but they are not the people that I'm gonna text in crisis mode. I made my best friends steadily throughout the whole year, not just the first semester. Essentially, make as many friends as possible, which is definitely easier said than done, but don't hang on to those people in the first week because you don't want to shut yourself down to new opportunities. As for bedtimes, I know it's tempting to stay up till 3 a.m. talking to your new friends, and definitely do that a few times, but you should regulate yourself on weeknights. And this is so hypocritical of me because I was staying up till 4 a.m. till the end of school. But don't be like me. Be like a good student and go to bed early. And by early I mean 1 a.m. so like that's fine. You were so sleep deprived at school. I came home and I texted my friend and I was like, I don't even know how to function on a real schedule. I don't want to. Naps are great, but sometimes they're really hard to come by. Napped a lot first semester, and then second semester I didn't nap as much. I would have 10-minute power naps, which are amazing. I love 10-minute power naps. Go to those club fairs to see clubs, but also to get free stuff. You can get a lot of free stuff at club fairs. I still don't need toothbrushes because I got a lot of toothbrushes. Utilize your agenda because a lot of your homework isn't worksheets anymore. It's read page 100 to 500. So you're gonna need that agenda because your professor's gonna expect you to just do it on your own. So you have to do it on your own. And on that note, scope out the library because come midterm and final seasons, you're gonna be spending a lot of time there. This doesn't necessarily have to be the library, but scope out places where you can study. Find places where you're best at focusing, proximity to a coffee place, like stuff like that. There's many different dining options that might not become as clear to you until you see someone else utilizing them. Like there was a great salad place I didn't find until second semester, and I was honestly afraid of Curito until the last day of school. I'm not even joking. The first time I had the Curito place was the last day of school, and even then I had one of my sorority sisters help me order. Even though your orientation leaders will probably only be taking you in the dining hall, you should understand that there are like coffee places, like we have Starbucks and Dunks, where you can use your points and stuff like that. And I know this is very vague advice, like understand your dining options, but it's very handy because if you're like me and sort of intimidated by the world, it's nice to know that sometimes you can get salad and go back to the library and study your life away. I know a lot of this video turned into me telling you what you should do, and that's kind of the point I was trying to say, that it's really hard to give you advice about your particular school unless you happen to go to the same university as me, and if then then that's awkward. Please don't tell people I make these videos. Bottom line, just open yourself up to new experiences, but also be smart about it. Basically, eat, sleep, go to class, study. Kids, stay in school. Figure out how to eat and sleep optimally. Wow. Don't be late. Those are the bottom. You could just watch this part of the video and you'd know everything. The first week of school isn't much different than any of the other weeks, except for the fact that everybody's super nervous if you're a freshman, and then if you're an upperclassman, everyone's like, hey, hey. Be that awkward freshman that sits in like the part of the library where they don't know that it's only upperclassmen. Like, be that person, because you are not gonna be that innocent for your whole college experience. And there's something beautifully awkward about a freshman wandering around the dining hall. And please, if you have more specific questions, feel free to ask me them, because this is just a clusterfuck of a video. So thank you guys for watching. I don't know what the next video in this series will be yet, but I will get back to you soon. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.